First off, I want to thank the brave men and women who work behind the wall. I want to thank them on a national level because their job goes unrecognized.
How do they try to turn a guard?
Well, correctional officer. Sorry, I apologize. But correctional officer. How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Ganji, host of Tier Talk. We're going to touch on that subject again, that prison guard versus correctional officer. But this time I'm going to forward it to Russ, and we're going to talk about how corrections is law enforcement. It's a complement to the other videos that we've done in the past. This is the reason why we push for that recognition. Some states have the recognition of law enforcement, but most states don't. And this has been a constant battle for us. So when we come back from our sponsors, it's going to go to Russ. And Russ is going to explain why corrections is law enforcement. All right, guys. So please, if you happen to show Tier Talks for you brave men and women that work in corrections, so please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell is going to notify you every time I post up a video. And don't forget to share the video if you agree with it. Share it. Put it on your social media sites. I go to our sponsors. When we come back, I give the show over to Russ.
I wanted to attend a university that had an intelligence program. I wanted to look at problems different. I wanted to increase my critical thinking abilities. AMU offered those avenues to expand. Obtaining your degree as an adult, you're actually paying yourself and investing in yourself. You can't put a dollar on it, it's priceless. It's something that can never be taken away from you.
American Military University. Learn from the leader.
Hey, Tier Talk fans and my keepers of chaos, Russ Hamilton here. So, this video is going to be an adjunct to a video that I did earlier in the week, which was prison guard versus correctional officer. Felt the need to just take that one step further, clarify a few things about being a correctional officer and about working in corrections. And that one thing is this: corrections is law enforcement. So, before I get to the meat and bones of that, let me just run down a couple things about my history. All right. So I'm about 30 years total in. I started at San Quentin in 1989, eventually transferred to another prison, promoted to sergeant, then retired, then came back part-time, did another couple of years as a correctional officer, just, being a cell phone shank finding hound. And then after that, I went to work for a juvenile lockup facility and got another almost 3 years out of that. So 30 years aggregate. Now, I loved my job, no matter which function I was serving, no matter what facility I was at, because this is a great job and it is worthy of recognition. It's worthy of the pride that we take in it. I was, proud as I could be to serve in the capacity in which I served. I was proud of what I achieved. I was proud to be an impact player where I felt like every day I was out there, the safety, the security was a little bit better because I put a lot of effort into that. More than that, as I've now, gone beyond my retirement and started to show up and do more and more here in the social media field, I'm forever grateful to those of you that are the audience out there that have, kind of watched my stuff and allowed me to have this bully pulpit to try and bring to you guys, some content, some history, some training, and, just a place where correctional people can come and gather together and, learn more about those that serve in different functions across this great country and across the world. Both Tier Talk and Keepers of Chaos and all the other venues out there like the Correctional Officer Brotherhood really have become international concerns now. And we really have begun bringing a focus, a light on what we do in corrections. We're starting to get a little bit more recognition. And with that, though, comes some strife and some anger caused by a very few small number of individuals that don't want us recognized as the law enforcement professionals that we are. And that's what happened this week. And that's partially what this video is about. But more than that, I just wanted to frame what we do and to define what we do and to give examples of what we do, not to you guys, because you guys know what's going on. Every day you're out there working and living this. But to the general public and to some of those narrow-minded individuals that do not understand that we are law enforcement. If you take law enforcement, at its most basic definition, it simply means that you have a statutory obligation to act when laws are being broken. That's all it is. It just means that there's a law that says that if laws are being broken, the title that you've been given must respond to that, right? And that you have a duty and the power to stop those laws from being broken. It's simple, People want to take it and convolute it into a bunch of crap that it's not. Now, there are some definitions, there are some variances across that, but it doesn't change what you do. I was very lucky in my career, my entire career, even the time that I was in juvenile, I was a sworn peace officer, right? And with that, came some nice extra, power perks, some extra training, some better equipment, things like that, better pay. So, that part's all well and good. But the fact that there are other correctional officers out there who maybe aren't sworn that did the same exact job that I did, it doesn't make their struggle, it doesn't make their sacrifice, it doesn't make their blood any less red than mine. And so that's what I wanted to basically, bring home to you, is that we're all one brotherhood, all of law enforcement, and should be. There shouldn't be people out there trying to draw a bunch of, arbitrary and subjective lines, trying to prop themselves up to elevate their status by trying to undercut what your status is. That's not the way this is supposed to work. It's not the way it should be. I don't give a frick if someone out there who took it upon themselves to denigrate me earlier this week, or actually the whole profession, thinks that by undercutting me, that somehow elevates them. No, we need to come together. We need to be on the same page. Because let me tell you this, there are some rough times ahead in this profession, in all aspects of it, from corrections to the street level. Is it any wonder you look at what's going on out there in the streets of New York, with all of these officers being attacked, bottles of water, stones being thrown, all that kind of thing? Same thing happens to us in prison. Ours, we get shit and piss thrown on us. I'm just disgusted by the lack of understanding that some fellow, not very many of them, let me be clear about that, some of these fellow officers have, their lack of understanding for what we do. So let's look at what we do. We do not have two separate sets of laws, whichever, state or whatever you're in, where inmates are on one side are subjected to one sort of law and on the outside some other. The penal code is all the same thing. You got 50 states, X number of counties, and federal stuff here and there, but it doesn't really change. We still charge them with the same things. If a inmate comes up and socks you, there's not some special penal code for that. There may be some enhancement. There may be some enhancement for the penalty or whatever, but it's not two separate things. So on any given day, I, as a correctional officer, I, as a correctional sergeant, I, as a senior juvenile correctional officer, which were the three things that I functioned in during my 30-year career, I might deal with validating gang members. I might deal with drugs being smuggled in. I might deal with assaults. I deal with rapes. I've dealt with riots. I've dealt with being assaulted. I've dealt with inmates assaulting my fellow staff. I've dealt with fires being set. And through all of these, what do? We charge them through the penal code. Sometimes they get charged through an administrative code. As a sergeant, I was sometimes an administrative law judge where I got to hand out punishments through a policy of due process that allowed me to level punishments against inmates for doing stupid things. All of this is part of law enforcement. It's there. It's statutory. It's on the books. You can look at it in black and white and see it. So this particular individual took it upon himself in one of the forums I was in to state that corrections is not law enforcement. And when I called him on it, he didn't have any good answer. All he had were a bunch of retorts and a bunch of trying to downgrade me. So what did I do? I pointed out his frailties to him, the things that he didn't have and wasn't capable of, that most correctional officers are, about the level of experience that they have on a day-to-day basis, how many riots that they're in, how many people they handcuff on a day-to-day basis. Anyway, I guess that didn't sit too well with this particular individual. But you know what? He's part of the he's part of the law enforcement brotherhood. But he needs to understand that we need to have unity. There's no denigration to be had. But he just couldn't face the fact that we are on a par with him. Some of us are beyond that par. So rest assured, I just want to tell all of my audience out there that I have nothing but the utmost respect and admiration for what you do in corrections on a day-to-day basis. I will never stop fighting for us to be recognized for what we do. I will never stop fighting for you and trying to bring you content and training and knowledge and all of those things, because I want to move this profession forward. I want those 4 things, and I know I've mentioned this before in a lot of my videos and stuff. STEP, status, training, equipment, pay, status. We should all have peace officer status. And I hope that someday, each and every department will recognize that and get us there. Commensurate with that status, we should all have the best training that can be had, the best equipment that can be had, and pay that equals all of those things. So that's my promise to you, that I'm going to continue on in this fashion. And sometimes I got to get out here though and rant about these people that just seem to want to, push us aside, to cut us out of the loop. That's not where we're going to be relegated to. We in corrections have so much going for us with regard to the way we understand about de-escalating situations, what we know about gangs, what we know about searching. You know what? We're a resource that unfortunately some of these other outside agencies fail to take advantage of. But they should be looking at us for our expertise. They should be looking at us for what we're able to do and accomplish when a yard goes to shit and we go out there and we take it back. 10 or 15 of us taking it back from 1,000 inmates. I mean, think about that. Think about the awesome things that we do on a day-to-day basis. So I guess this rant is probably about over, and I don't want to leave it at a rant, but it just kind of really ticked me off. To be quite honest, I got down there in the mud and I slung it with that guy verbally. And I think I gave out a lot more mud onto him than he got onto me. Was that right? Was that wrong? I don't know. All I can tell you is that I'm never going to stop fighting for this profession, because I'm proud of what I did, proud of what I've done through the whole thing. I'm proud of what you guys do on a day-to-day basis too. I mean, I can't believe that I've been lucky enough in this whole thing to be affiliated with so many great people who are courageous, brave, and, do a magnificent job under some of the most difficult circumstances imaginable. Anyway, hope that everyone likes this video. I don't think I've done one quite like this before. But anyway, this is Russ Hamilton, and I'm signing off now. Stay safe.